a lot of guys don't know how to manage their time. You know, they're told like, hey, clock in at 9, you leave at 5. Like most of the world teaches you like, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do and how to do it. And, when you clock in and out. And so I taught guys how to use and manage their time effectively, especially when they're new. Like, what does a successful day look like for somebody who just started at Miller Storm? Right? Your day one, what does that look like? Right? How do you put yourself in the best situation for success? And then also as they evolve and they gain a little bit more experience, right? And now you start to have, adjuster appointments and work orders. And, then you have to mix it in with also canvassing and getting new customers. People kind of get lost in that. And so we taught guys how to use their time at different stages of their career so they never get lost. And they can consistently make more than they did the year before.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Jay Miller of Miller Storm. I just have been following Jay on Facebook for a while. Dude, I don't know, Jay. I think I became friends with some sort of roofing influencer, and that's how we got connected. And I just marvel at what you guys are up to. Jay, and just one of the things I saw yesterday on your feed is you have a door in your shop where you actually walk in and out of the door and do practice training. So I'm going to pick your brain about that. But man, just tell us your story, dude, how you got started. Tell us about the company.
Yeah. So we started Miller Storm. Me and my wife started Miller Storm February of 2020, tail end of February of 2020, which was a very interesting time. That was when COVID happened. And but I had been in the roofing space door to door for the 4 years prior to that. I've sold, I was a multi-million-dollar salesperson. I worked for a few companies. And so I took the best things that I learned at each one of those companies. And I said, if I were going to do something myself, I would do it like this, now 2020, my wife was like, let's just do it. And I was like, I don't know how to start a business. I don't know anything about that. None of our relatives are business owners. And so she's like, let's do it. We start it. And then bam, the COVID lockdown happens. And I'm in the door-to-door space, which was very interesting because at that time, we just went all in on Miller Storm. And I was like, I'm not just going to sit at my house and die and not make any money. I was like, I have to knock doors. So where we lived in Keller, Texas, what I realized was there was a lot of people outside. Like a lot of people were doing home improvement stuff. And the biggest complaint you'll always hear from guys that are in the door-to-door space is no one's home. I knock the door, no one's home. I keep knocking doors, no one's answering the door, right? Well, during COVID, everyone was home. So I was knocking doors and I had the best year individually in sales that year that I had ever had because everybody wanted to do the home improvements. People were home. They were kind of bored and they were like, man, I've been trying to get around to that. But now that all this happened, let's go ahead and do stuff. And so it was a very lucrative year for us. And then the rest is history. That's really how we got started.
Mindset. I'm just listening to you talk, dude. Just mindset. Like, is this, am I going to take advantage of the situation? Does life happen to me or for me? And I just love that you totally took advantage of the situation there. And so where are you guys at today in terms of overall staff or overall sales or?
Yeah. So last year we closed out at about 18 million. We're projected this year to do about 27 million. Yeah. Yeah,
Balling.
it's been a long. Yeah, we're on our seventh. We closed out our sixth year of business, which we're just, man. I'm so blessed to do this, and to really have attracted people that had a like-minded mindset, because the culture that we've built and the standards that we've held inside of the company, that we didn't bend or break to those things. In the beginning, it was tough, because recruiting in roofing is, especially for fully commissioned guys, is very hard, and um, a lot of times I wanted to kind of bend things, and you always have, right, that devil and the angel, right, where you're like, man, maybe if I just do it this way, and but what was cool was we consistently held a standard for a really long time. And I think when it came to year 4 or 5, people started to like go, okay, those guys are serious and they hold a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And the culture got better and stronger, and we got more selective, and just things took off. It was like right at, like, after year 3. So we have a team of about, we have a 47 sales guys, and we have 3 branches, one in Round Rock, which is Austin, Texas, Lubbock. We have a branch out there, and then we have a branch here in Fort Worth, and we're starting to branch in Dallas in the next 60 days.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. Dude, I mean, honestly, I don't talk to a lot of $30 million roofers. I talk to a lot of $5 to $10 million roofers. So what was like to get to where you guys are today? Was it your sales staff? Was it a really good number 2? Was it marketing? Like, what do you attribute to the growth?
Jeez, I've been asked this question a few times, and I think it's a collective of a lot of things. So on year 3, me and I call him my partner Naaman. We hung out for a while. We actually merged companies. And so for the longest time, I didn't really know about how to truly scale a roofing company. Okay. So when I met Naaman, I had a large sales team, but that sales team just reported to me. Like, I didn't really have leaders, and putting people like on teams and how to like scale that way. So Naaman, he had done about 13 years in the Army. And so when we merged, he was like, this is a lot like the military. He goes like, there needs to be people here. He goes, you can't answer the phone for everybody inside the company. You're never going to scale. And so he helped me tremendously with that. And when we got together, I think it was rocket fuel, because he had all the military knowledge and I had all the roofing knowledge and what to do and how to overcome things. And we put those things together. And I think that's what really trajected us to the next level, and gave us a baseline to scale.
So so you guys do a lot. So I heard restoration, siding, roofing, what are maybe the breakdowns of is roofing like 80% of the business, or what's kind of the breakdowns of all that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, when homeowners are impacted by severe storms, we'll go out there and we'll turnkey the job, but 9 times out of 10, we're mainly roofing. That's what our bread and butter is. But of course, we flip houses. I tell people we're kind of like a GC. I have subcontractors for everything that we've kind of weeded out over the last 10 years. And so we can do everything. So when homeowners get impacted by storms, they know that we're not just going to come in and do the roof. We can do the fence, we can do the siding, we can do all that
Yeah.
stuff, but we're not just
Yeah.
looking for siding jobs, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, I know, I can tell that, well, first and foremost, your branding is sick. Like that's,
Thank you.
I immediately noticed it. Like the red, it kind of like grabs your attention. I can see some of the stuff in the background. It's like a covenant in blood. It's kind of
Yeah.
badass.
Burn the ships.
Yeah, burn the ships. I love that. I love that. It's hardcore. But I noticed your sales training is, I know that training your guys in the field is incredibly important. And I'm assuming you guys have something different that you do when you train your sales guys. Like how do you do it? Talk to me about the door in the shop and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So the team for the Christmas party, they surprised me with a door. We always were just like knocking on air in the training. And I was like, I really want a door, because how you move at a door and your body language and how you knock the door and how you're standing and all of those things really matter when you are out in the door-to-door world. And so I wanted a door. They surprised me with a door for the Christmas party. I was shocked because it was
so cool. That's a great present.
Was like wrapped in Christmas paper,
Yeah.
and I had no idea what it was. And so I start ripping at it, and they had it all like done up for me. I was shocked. I was really humbled by that. But yeah, so we do a lot. So the biggest complaint you'll hear from most people in roofing that have been in the roofing industry for a while, or they started off in roofing, is training. Right. You'll hear in Texas, a lot of guys go, man, this guy gave me business cards and a pitch and told me hit him up when you get a roof inspection, or hit me up if you get something on the line, and I kind of learned that the same way as well. And so we wanted to hyper focus on training, right? Like when guys left, whether you went somewhere else or not, you can't say you didn't get trained here. We have probably more trainings than people are even used to. I'm part of the Roofing Solar Reform Alliance with Adam Bensman. So those are Zoom calls with John Cenac and a lot of the top guys that are in the roofing world. Those are Zoom calls that go on throughout the month. We have in-house training. We have a software system that's built out that teaches guys how to manage their time, because managing time, overcoming objections, how to do a roof inspection, because, some guys are here, some guys want to go fast, some guys it takes them multiple times, to learn information. So there's so many different resources that if, let's say you're sick and you miss this training, well, that's in the training platform. You know what I mean? That's also on this training. So there's always an opportunity for somebody to pick up the information and stay on the course of learning the industry.
Are you putting that all in like a Kajabi or a Trainual or something like that they can go back and watch them too?
Yeah, so we built our own custom software. So so it's called Miller Storm Tech, and when guys go there, it's a whole library of everything that I literally dumped 10 years of my experience into this software, of everything that I've learned, all the, and then of course guest speakers as well, right? Because a lot of guys, I've had experts come in on TPO roofing, right? And how a TPO roof is installed and how you go about doing B2B. I have specialty roofing training in there, composition, metal, how to navigate through each roofing system inside of that. But it's really a startup package, right? So when guys come in, because when guys are, come in and they're fully commissioned, and you're like, hey, it's eat what you kill. Like, a lot of guys don't know how to manage their time. They're told like, hey, clock in at 9, you leave at 5. Like most of the world teaches you like, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do and how to do it. And, when you clock in and out. And so I taught guys how to use and manage their time effectively, especially when they're new. Like, what does a successful day look like for somebody who just started at Miller Storm? Right? Your day one, what does that look like? Right? How do you put yourself in the best situation for success? And then also as they evolve and they gain a little bit more experience, right? And now you start to have, adjuster appointments and work orders. And, then you have to mix it in with also canvassing and getting new customers. People kind of get lost in that. And so we taught guys how to use their time at different stages of their career so they never get lost. and they can consistently make more than they did the year before.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. I know for me, and I talk to a lot of guys in the blue collar space, finding them and retaining them is really important. So and I'm sure a lot of guys listening to this might be like, well, you're training them too well. Like they're going to leave you and hang their own shingle. Do you have any nifty ways that you kind of create a stickiness for your company?
Yes. So, and I think that comes down to systems and processes and taking a lot of the stuff that guys who are great at sales don't want to do. All right. So I sold for a very long time. And I remember when I would follow up with the insurance carrier and I would sit on hold for 30, 40 minutes trying to talk to an adjuster, right? Yeah. Or trying to see when the depreciation check was released or seeing where the scope was or seeing where the supplement ended up. Like all of those tedious calls. Now we have a whole back office team that does all of those calls for the sales guys. So they'll say, hey, adjust, like they'll follow up on the adjuster appointment. Hey, this is the adjuster. So we have a lot of things that we update the sales guy. And then it's also compartmentalized, right? Like we have project managers. So our project managers project manage. Our estimators and our supplement team, they do the supplements. And then our sales guys do exactly what they're great at, which is sell. And so we all collaboratively work as a team. And so that they can get really good at the one thing that they're good at, right? Which is sales or project management or supplements, So we just work collaboratively. And guys love it. I have a guy here, Cooper, we just shot the podcast. He used to own a roofing company and he goes, coming over here with all the systems and the processes and the follow-ups, like he's like, I don't really have to do all the tedious stuff that I don't like to do, right? Everything's done. They're not running to go grab pipe jacks, or project man. All that stuff takes time away from guys selling, And so that's how we have, I think, the best culture when it comes and retention, right? Guys don't want to leave because they have everything kind of laid out for them so they can be successful.
It's funny, man. I come from the financial advisory world, and that's like, we consider that like a captive situation. That's why guys decide to go with like an Edward Jones or a Merrill Lynch, just because a lot of those systems and structures are taking place for the exact same reasons. Like, I don't have to figure out, compliance stuff. And that makes total sense. And then you create a situation where they can make enough money where they're happy, right? And they'll never leave you. I love that. What are some of the challenges right now that you guys feel like you're facing?
Challenges. I'll be honest. I hate to say I have everything figured out, but we really have a lot of momentum. I mean, I was telling my wife yesterday, I said, we have a pretty well-oiled machine when it comes to everything. I'm not in the day-to-day. Like my job now is to stay away from the office. Like I have to stay away and let everybody do their thing, because if I come to the office, I become a distraction.
You're gonna mess stuff up.
I mess stuff up. I start pressing buttons. I start going, hey, we can make this better, and I just start doing micro tedious stuff and people are like, so I've been kind of, I come in for maybe 10 to 15 hours and I do the meetings and all of that stuff. But if there was one thing I think that as far as challenge, it's the recruiting at a higher rate and better quality people. Although I think we have it really good. Like we do attract some of the top talent. But that's always a battle. If there was something that I think we can definitely get better at.
Let's talk about AI for a sec. How are you guys integrating it into your business?
Oh my gosh. I was just talking to my CMO before we got on the call. So he is huge in AI, and he has like these bots, and we're trying to figure out like where AI fits in our company, because I love it as a tool. But there's a line between where humanity is, right, and where you use AI, and so we were just having a debate about that because he built out this bot, and he goes, hey, ask it a question about how to do a roof inspection, and I'm like, I understand we can ask the bot how to do a roof inspection, and it's going to tell them how to do a roof inspection through my words. But I think a lot of guys might like calling an actual human in leadership and going, hey, how do I do this? And speak to a human before they type it into a chat box. So we're trying to figure out where AI fits inside of the business.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that conversation with you guys. It's one of the things. I have an AI agency. Yeah.
I read, I was reading up on you, and it said you're big into AI. Have you seen how AI can help roofing companies? Like, what are some of the big things it's helping with right now?
So I believe AI is a tool to create freedom. I don't think anybody needs to get fired or replaced. And I've been at this for a year now, which is like kind of a long time for AI. And I believe AI is not a way to replace people. It's a way to leverage people. And so who like, you are doing an incredible job training your sales staff. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to turn their best sales guy into 6 sales guys? Yeah. Right. And so when I understand, when I talk to a lot of blue collar guys, like, oh, I would never do it because it's like really impersonal and my clients would never appreciate it. I'm like, not even about that, dude. Like, we're talking about a CSR, which no one wants to do, right? Yeah. We're talking about leveraging their capacity and taking after hours and overflow calls. No one has to get fired here. Yeah. But your best admin, who wouldn't want to turn them into 6? So the beauty of where we're at right now, Jay, is like, I don't have to hire more people. I just have to get the right people in the right seats. Yeah. And then I can leverage them into infinitely with AI and then virtual assistants overseas. Like, that's, I believe, the 1-2 punch for kicking butt.
Yeah. So, we have a really talented overseas team. And so that has been huge for us as well. It's training them. So we have a call center. We have people that do a lot of the back office and support. So the overseas. It's funny that we're talking about this. I'll just be fully vulnerable. When I met Naaman, he was the person who told me about overseas talent. Yeah. And I was like, that's anti-American. Yeah. I was big on this, everything needs to be here in the States and, and all this stuff. And I didn't realize that how far a dollar goes in other countries.
Yes.
Dude,
you're changing someone's life. Truly, truly. You're changing someone's life. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was crazy is he's like, you don't understand. He goes, these people are doctors and surgeons and engineers and lawyers. I'm like, what? And he goes, yes. He goes, and if you're paying them, X amount, whatever.
$5 to $10 an hour.
Yeah, we were doing the math the other day with my CMO because he isn't as familiar with overseas talent. And he gave one of the overseas talent guys $1,000 bonus.
Bro, and
I said, dude, you just gave him $15,000 of American dollars. And he goes, no, that's not true. And I was like, and I pulled up ChatGPT. I said, what's the equivalent in that country?
Was it in the Philippines?
No, it was Middle East, in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God. I'm like, you have to watch, because what we perceive that money to be and what they perceive it is 2 different perceptions, Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it is a cheat. So when a year ago I was stuck in a business I hated, God told me to create freedom for business owners. My first thought was, well, my girls in the Philippines create so much freedom for me. Yeah. And I believe especially the guy in his truck, like, that is stepping stone 1 to freedom. And then you automate your most routine business process with AI.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's a real life cheat code. Man, I can tell you get fired up by a lot of stuff. What's one thing we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
Oh man. You know, for me, it's been the personal development. That's really what fires me up is getting guys. Like, it's not just about roofing for me. It's about like showing guys and mentoring young men into learning the walks of life faster, right? Like, why can't a young man at 22 or 23 years old buy a house? You know what I mean? Like, what? Because I think as the mentorship part and the life mentorship there's not a lot of companies doing that. And when I was growing up, I was like, man, they don't teach that stuff in school. So we have CPAs, I have real estate agents come in and teach guys how to get their credit to a certain spot and how to get pre-approved for a mortgage and how to make sure that they show the right amount of income. Because a lot of guys, all the mistakes that I used to, my first year in roofing, I made $150,000 and I wrote off all this stuff. And then when I went to go try to we went to go try to buy a house, it showed that it looked like I worked at Burger King, and the guy was like, you don't want to write off all this stuff. You want to actually show an income. And this is how, so all the pitfalls that I fell into, personal development, I think, is really key in growing a culture, because you don't want to make everything transactional and about selling, because there's millions of people, there's millions of companies that sell roofs, right? But what's the difference maker, right? It's like, when you get this money, what you should do with it, investments, real estate, how to start your own LLC, leverage, your tax liability, all these things that they don't teach you this stuff in school. And so we have experts come in and teach. And that's what really gets me on fire, man, because roofing changed my life. I really didn't think there were opportunities like this to change the trajectory of your life. And I just want to do that stuff for other people, because I don't think you can put a price tag on it.
I love that, man. I like one of the things and just to encourage you, like the mindset has been, because we're here in Colorado, and man, it's been bone dry. We haven't had a hailstorm in, a long time. And all my friends in HVAC and roofing are hurting because the weather's been incredible and we've had no hail. And what I think has really emerged is the guys with the right mindset have gone out looking for ways to still just skin the cat a different way. Maintenance contracts, coding, there's always a way to still make money. 100%. And your mindset is everything. So that's really jumped out to me from how you guys are running your business and your company. It's really, really impressive.
I love that you said that. And that's true for all the listeners. It is a mindset, because so I'm from New Jersey, I didn't know about ice falling from the sky when it was hot outside. And so back in from 2016 to 2018, my first 2 years in roofing, I didn't even see a hailstorm. I didn't even know, but we were using 1/2-inch storms to get roofs bought. I think there's an abundant mentality, because there's always somebody that can qualify or needs roof repairs or needs a roof replacement. And if your reticular active eye is looking for opportunities, you'll see opportunities, right? And if you're thinking that there's no opportunity out there, that's exactly what's going to happen.
I love that, man. I love that. Well, Jay, dude, first and foremost, if you guys, what's the name of your podcast? I didn't realize you had one.
Oh, the Hard Knocks podcast. You should come on sometime, man, when you're in Texas.
I'm in. I'm in. Actually, I'm going to be. I'm really tied in with these guys with Rise Up Kings, so I'm down in Dallas all the time for stuff.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that. That's I saw the guys all out in the middle of the woods, and
it's a Christian business owner kick your butt thing, dude. A year ago, I was like, I literally, this is a true story, not to get too deep too fast. I was miserable. I was anxious, depressed. I literally had my suicide planned out. It was like I was in a bad place, dude. Bad place. Yeah. And I clicked on an ad for this thing called Rise Up Kings, and I got way more than I bargained for. So yeah, they're in Dallas, and just like a truly kingdom shaping, Jesus honoring. Yeah. It's like a nationwide fraternity of Christian business owners, and there's a bunch of roofers in there.
That's beautiful. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's beautiful. Awesome. How long have you been doing that? A year? 2 years?
About a year, man. About a year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I'd love to have you on the podcast if you come out.
Let's do it, baby.
Men need more groups like that. This guy asked me the other day, I turned 40 this year. The guy goes, man, turning 40 this year, man, what's the biggest lesson that you learned? And I said that money will never fill the spiritual void. People think that as you become at higher levels of financial success, that it fixes, it doesn't. You're still the same person. In order to have fulfillment, I think it's really comes down. You can't attach it to money. Money will never fulfill you. It's just an empty black void, you know.
Amen.
So
Amen. Yeah, dude. When I had to go to a mental health institution. I had $600,000 in cash, which for me was a lot at the time. But the devil had me convinced that it was never enough.
yeah,
And it's just like, dude, the devil is a liar.
yes,
And money controlled my soul, and it led to tons of fear, and I just could not get off the hamster wheel.
absolutely.
So, when I share that with business owners, they don't. It's like, yep, been there. Yep, I had a gun in my mouth, addicted to coke. My wife was about to leave me. Like, that's the kind of crap I hear from business owners.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a CEO coach. His name's Bryce Lawrence. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bryce, but that guy, he's my CEO coach, and he truly saved my life. And it's so crazy how God introduces you to people when you're at that moment. I truly, it changed my whole perspective on God and really what I believe in, because I know exactly what you mean. And he told me that you would be shocked that how many business owners actually, it's not uncommon for that to happen, for guys to fall into a black hole, because as you move up in business, it gets lonely. You can't have as many conversations with certain people, right? You're not down here with all the sales guys anymore, and you're not here and you get here, and now all of a sudden you can't talk to anybody. You have to act a certain way in certain situations. And, you start to like go, oh, I didn't realize it was like this, you didn't, and so, I'm with you on that. I've been,
dude, here's where my crazy comes out. I believe the next big movement of God is in the marketplace, and it's going to come from guys like you and me.
Yeah.
And I love the church, but I believe the institutional church isn't cutting it.
Yep.
We have the same Bible. We have the same Holy Spirit. You have a shop full of, you said, like 50 to 100 people. Like, bro, you got a church right there.
Yeah.
Like, and we just got to be faithful to what God is calling us to do.
Absolutely.
And if where you're placed and how you're paid does not determine if you're in ministry.
100%. 100%. I love that you said that, because it really comes down to the impact, that you have on people, and staying true to the values of God, and really making sure that you're staying on the right side of right. There's just so many people that, especially in roofing, that start to creep into that evil, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to start doing either something illegal or, insurance fraud, or, you know what I mean? They do all these things because they think that they need to do those things to be successful. And I battled with that too. I talk about that all the time. Me and my wife have talked about this. I'm like, because there's so many deals I had to turn away from because I could not waive their deductible. And I stood true on the fact that, hey, if you either pay the deductible or you can move ACV toward the deductible, but like, these are the only two options. And people are like, no, can you just waive it? And I'm like, no. And there's so much business that even me and my guys walk away from on a day to day, that we're like, man, could we have grown faster if we were doing these things, but I think, we're going to last the test of time, and people who do stuff like that, they're just like a bottle rocket, they shoot up, they have a nice little spark and then pop, and they don't last, and we want to make a movement that lasts the test of time and can have an impact on a lot of young men and women, on how to operate at a high level and do things the right way.
Amen and amen. Well, man, that's a great place to leave it. Jay, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
Yeah, they can reach out to me at Roof Dr. J on Instagram. If they want to see if they qualify to be on the Miller Storm team, they can go to millerstorm.com. They can also DM me, ready or roof, both of those words. I will respond back, reach out, jump on a quick phone call with you. And then, of course, if there's people out there that need a inspection, they can give the office a call at 817-309-ROOF. We handle the greater Texas area. So
that was good. You did that different than other guys have done. You're like, if you want a job, come here. You want, I like how you just did that. That was good. Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, everyone go give him a follow. I just added you on Instagram as well. And then I'm, of course, like one of your biggest fans on Facebook. And man, we got to, let's stick around and rap about all the things. But yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you, brother.